Okay, well, I am going to go ahead and get started. So, this is an informational little Zoom event that I wanted to put together along with a little bit of a slideshow to go over the marvels of the Dolomites of Italy. So, the first thing that I want to do is just kind of share the page. This is the web page. If you go to wonderyourwayadventures.com, you could just go there and find the marvels of the Dolomites of Italy. The dates are June 15th to June 24th. Now, the last day to sign up is April 10th. I have to let the company that I'm working with know if we are going to have enough people for the trip. And if so, then how many people we've got. And so we can kind of take care of those last minute decisions. So April 10th is the absolute last day. I really advise people not to wait until the last day to sign up for it. I am going to look and see where things are at the end of March, but we do have a couple people signed up and we are hoping to get our minimum of five because I think this is just such an amazing time to go to the Dolomites. I know, like the latter part of June, you're thinking, oh, the kids are out of school and everything. European kids are not out of school yet for the most part. So it can still be a really great time. And especially when we are, because we're finishing up by June 24th, we will definitely sort of avoid kind of the influx of kids because this is an area that I would say not necessarily a whole lot of Americans go. I kind of find that the Americans that do go are usually people who are, couples or kind of older people traveling together. You do get younger people, but not as much of a place where people take kids. Although it is kid friendly, I will say that. So definitely lots of places. But let's go into the slideshow here. So this is the Marvel, like I said, the Marvels of the Dolomites of Italy, June 2025. For those of you who don't know me, I am Lynn Neiman. I am the founder and owner of Wonder Your Way and, of course, Wonder Your Way Adventures, which is a branch of Wonder Your Way. And so I kind of want to just tell you a little bit about me if you don't know me. I started Wonder Your Way in late 2013, early 2014. And I really started this business because I wanted to help people travel to Europe independently, kind of on their terms, which is why I named the business Wonder Your Way. I kept thinking, what's a good name for this? Because I really believe that no two people are alike, and therefore no two trips should be alike. So I really started to help people plan trips to Europe. And I always say I can help you plan a little or a lot or all of your trip to Europe. But I always wanted to do small group tours. And when I say small group, I really meant like, maybe no more than 12 people of like-minded travelers, because I really wanted to be able to share kind of with you some of my favorite destinations where I really kind of places that I went and that people might go, oh, I'd really like to go there. And I thought, well, wouldn't it be great to bring just a small group of people together who really kind of want to go to some kind of different places, some of the places that I go to, because some of the places are not always kind of really on the main tourist trail in Europe for most people. And a lot of people will not necessarily do a lot of the outdoor stuff. And that was always part that I wanted to include. It's kind of like small towns, outdoor stuff. And most of my outdoor stuff is more like walking or hiking. Occasionally I've gotten into a kayak. So, but mostly I would say it's walking and hiking, which is kind of my favorite way because I also like to photograph as I go. So, um, I wanted to start One Year Way Adventures so that I could do a little mix of sort of the culture and the history along with the outdoor time. So, the Wonder Your Way Adventures for 2025, we still do have one trip to Ireland open, and that's in September, and that is covering counties Clare, Galway, and Mayo. It's a wonderful trip. We've got some great things planned with the company that I'm working with there. And then we have these two to the south, Tyrol or the Dolomite region of northern Italy. So we have this one in June, and then there is one in September. That one is, I think we have about four people signed up for that. So we're just about to our minimum number. So that is an option too if this time doesn't work out. But I want to very specifically talk about the June trip and what that itinerary features. I do want to let people know that I am in development for 2026 trips. We've got two to Scotland, one in May, and I think the other one's maybe late August into early September. I'm trying to catch the heather in bloom, there because it's so spectacular, and I really want to be able to share that. But those are great times to actually be in Scotland. So if you are kind of looking for something for 2026 and Scotland is on your radar, then those are some things we have in the works. We might do another Dolomite trip. I'm going to kind of see. That's still a possibility. So if this year doesn't work out and you're thinking maybe next year, there's a possibility I will do another Dolomite trip. That is TBD. See how things go. So, the marvels of the Dolomites, Italy. Again, this is June 15th to the 24th. Now, the 15th is the day that you need to be in Italy by. And the pickup is in Venice. So, we'll go over that. But these are some of the highlights. That's the town of Caldaro, and that is actually a wine growing region in the South Tyrol region of Italy. We will be doing a wine tasting at Peter Solva Winery, which is one of my favorite vineyards. Alpi di Susi, which is just an incredible place, especially at that time of year. We will actually be staying up in the Alpi, and we will be doing some hikes from there. I'll kind of talk about some of the trails. And then we'll go to the town of San Vigilio town. It's a village, San Vigilio di Marebe, and that is a great base for the Fana Dolomite Nature Park, and that's where we'll be doing some hiking. And then we will finish as we make our way back to Venice we'll stop in the Prosecco kind of tasting area, which is in the Veneto region. We'll stop there on our way back, and the price starts at $56.30. And I'll go over things that includes and doesn't include. So these are just some of the features. So we've got up here in the upper left-hand corner, that's the town of Caldaro. Down below is the Sassolungo and Sassopiatto, which are that's at sunset up in Alpi di Susi. That was taken actually from the hotel we'll be staying in. This is San Vigilio di Marebe up here in the upper right-hand corner. Nice little village with just surrounded by Dolomite peaks. Such a cute little place. And then this is Grand Fanas, one of the hikes that we would take in Fanas and Esprius Nature Park over there from San. So June 15th is the first day, and you will land in Venice. And then, as I said, everyone will be kind of picked up as a group because of the fact that we do have I think it's probably close to a 2.5 to 3 hour drive from the Venice airport up to Caldaro or Cowturn, where we will start. You'll check into the Hotel Battle. I actually stayed here just last year, 2024. It's a beautiful place, great views from up there. And we will all have dinner together, and that will be included with with staying there. So just sharing a couple of the photos. This is the town of Caldaro here. This is what the rooms look like. They're kind of nice, simple. This is kind of typical of the region, but this is the view that you have kind of over the town and the mountains. And I happened to catch a little rainbow there. So that was really nice. Just a beautiful, beautiful spot. Kind of sits above the town, so you're a little bit up from town, but that makes it nice because we have the views. So on June 16th, we will go out and take our first walk together. And this is when our guide will be joining us. And we will go to Monticolo Lakes. They're kind of back in the forest a little bit. They're really nice, pretty easy walking, pretty flat. And then after the walk, we'll do that kind of in the morning. You'll have some time to kind of freshen up. And then we'll go to one of my favorite wineries, which is Peter Solva. Stefan Solva is the current generation of family. Natalie is his daughter. Unfortunately, Stefan, I think, is going to be out of town in June, but Natalie is wonderful. I've actually had a chance to get to know her. She is amazing, and she will take us on a tour, and then we'll taste some of the amazing wines there. That's going to be kind of a late tasting. We'll do something like around, I think it's going to be like scheduled for like around 3 or so in the afternoon. And then right next door, there is a little restaurant called Spetlock. And that's where we will have dinner afterwards. And yeah, and that will be our day that day. So sharing a few photos here. So this is Piccolo Montecolo Lake. This is the bigger one, Grande. And here is the winery down here, Peter Sova. And that's just some of the wines. They do blind tastings at Peter Solva, which I really like. So you don't know what you're tasting, you know what you're getting, which kind of helps then not influence what you think about the wines, which I think is really nice. I love that he does this. Okay, the next day, June 17th, is going to be a little bit more of a leisurely day. So we'll go down to, because we'll be just above Lago di Caldaro or Caltara Sea. That is kind of, it's down in the valley. And it's a walk down. If we want, we can walk back up, or we'll be transferred. So we'll kind of see what kind of works and how everybody's feeling. But we're just going to walk down to the lake. You get to walk through the vineyards. You get to walk through, there's apple orchards and that at that as well. Um, and then you'll kind of have the rest of the afternoon to kind of explore on your own. You might want to just kind of walk around Caldara. You might want to do some sort of treatment at the spa. There is the heated pool. If you want to do like a massage, we can make sure you get booked for something like that as well. But it'll be a nice kind of leisurely afternoon before we head up into the mountains. So again, we'll be staying at Das Bottle, and again, breakfast and dinner are included here. And that's Lake Caldaro. And this is kind of what it looks like as you start to walk back up. And that's kind of the town up there. It's just beautiful. Um, I walked down and up, and it was very hot the day I went last year in early September. So hopefully it won't be so warm, but it's just a beautiful place. You can see all the vineyards. So on June 18th, we'll kind of make the short drive up into the mountains, and we'll go to the village of Susi Allo Schiliar, or Sais am Schlern in German. And this is where we'll take the gondola up to Alpi di Susi, where we'll be staying. Alpi di Susi, if you don't know, it's Europe's largest high alpine meadow, and it is absolutely one of my favorite places on the planet. We will be staying at Paradiso Pure. This hotel has gone completely vegan. So if you are a meat eater, you are not going to get any meat for your breakfast or dinner. However, I will tell you there are places out on the Alpe di Susi where you can get meat. But I will say they are very inventive with the food. The food is delicious there, and you will get a 5-course meal every night, and it will really, I think, surprise you at all the things that they can do, um, keeping it totally vegetarian based, vegan based. So nothing but plant based items. It's really good. So once we get up there, kind of depend on what time we get up there and what everybody wants to do. We may just be able to go out and do a walk, an easy walk, just to kind of get acquainted. Because there's trails right from the hotel. Because like I said, we'll be right up in there. Um, and if not, if you kind of are like, oh, I really want to do something in the spa, Paradiso Pure does have kind of spa things. There's actually a gym to lift weights. There's, saunas and steam rooms. There's an indoor pool. I think there's an outdoor kind of jacuzzi. You might just want to relax. And so it's going to be up to you. And maybe, as a group, if a couple people want to go out and take a hike, we can certainly do that as well. So breakfast will be included from Das Bottle in the morning. And then, of course, like I said, you'll get your dinner in the evening from Paradiso Pure. And this is the hotel. This is where the hotel sits. You can see it's right in the midst of it all. The rooms, again, are nice and basic. So on June 19th is kind of our first full day that we'll have in Alpi di Susi, and there's lots of trails. And the nice thing about it is there's easy trails, moderate trails, and more difficult trails. And so we'll just, the guide, our guide that will be with us will be kind of monitoring and seeing what the group can do. And then we will select a trail or just a series of trails because everything just connects very easily up there. And it doesn't matter where we go, we are going to have some amazing views because there's just views everywhere. There's 360 views in Alpe di Susi, which is one of the things I love about it. There are little mountain huts that places where we can stop for lunch, or you can get a packed lunch from the hotel, and that's just an extra fee to you. But or if you've got snacks and are like me, I'm just a snacker as I hike. Sometimes I do that. So again, we will be overnighting in Paradiso Pure, and our breakfast and dinner will be included. The breakfast is like this huge breakfast buffet too there, so you can get everything there. And that's what it looks like, especially at that time of year. You get the flowers in bloom. It's a nice sunset from up right up there at the hotel at Paradiso Pure. This is one of the hikes that kind of gets you up a little bit higher, the wildflowers, and that's the Chiliar, the Schlern. Lower right-hand corner, this is the mountain on the left is Accesso Lungo, the one on the right, Accesso Piatto, and just beautiful and just such a beautiful place to be, and especially at that time of year with flowers in bloom. Just love it. So we'll have one more day, our last full day up in the Alpi di Susi. And again, we'll just kind of just be kind of whatever the group feels like doing. That's what we'll do. We'll have our guide with us. He or she, I think it's a she, will be taking us to, whatever hikes we feel up to doing. And again, we might just want to do a half day because some people might want to like head back to maybe do some stuff at the spa or back at the hotel or just sit and relax. So it'll be kind of not super, super structured. We'll kind of just go by how the feel of the group is. The nice thing about staying up there is we can always like take a trail and we can come back. And if some of the people want to go back to the hotel, they can. If some people are like, hey, we want to keep hiking, then the people can kind of go back. The people that want to go back to the hotel can stay, and then the guide can go back out and take maybe just a few of you who want to maybe keep hiking, go back out and tackle some more trails. And that's kind of some more photos. You can see all the flowers just fully in bloom. It's so beautiful. Excuse me, I'm going to take a quick drink of water there. It's just such a great place to be at that time of year. Just stunning. So the next day, June 21st, we will take the gondola back down to Susi, and our transportation will be there along with our luggage. So we won't have to, I think the way it's going to work is the luggage will be transported up via our van, and we won't have to worry about it other than like day packs. But if you have a larger bag, same on the way down so that we don't have to take our luggage onto the gondola, which I've done, which is not that big of a deal, but it will be a little bit easier. And then we'll drive over this pass. It's called Passo Gardena. It's really one of the most beautiful and spectacular passes in the Dolomites. Hopefully the weather will be good. We'll stop near the top. We'll have lunch up there. And if the group feels up to it, we will also kind of take a short walk. There's a few little trails that not very long, not very hard, but just to kind of get out and stretch our legs and take the views in a little bit more. Then we'll go over to the village of San Vigilio di Marebe, which is one of my favorite little places. And we will be there kind of near the Fanacenas Breas Dolomite Park. We're going to be checking into Hotel Olympia, which is one of my favorite hotels. I love the family that runs this. It's a small family run hotel, and the family that run it are just as nice as can be. You'll feel like family there. They do have spa facilities there as well, like a steam room and a sauna. They got a nice little pool, and they got an area just to kind of relax. But we'll just kind of have time to relax in the afternoon. The village is very small. The town church is really beautiful. I highly recommend popping in to see that. And we will have breakfast and lunch included. I'm not sure dinner may be included. I want to double check on this because I actually talked to Hotel Olympia when I was in the area last fall, last September, and they were talking about stopping doing their dinners all the time, but now they're thinking that they might be doing them. So I want to double check. If not, we would recommend places for you to go out and have dinner on your own. I'm kind of hoping that we will have dinner there at the hotel, but I'm going to kind of confirm that here in the next couple of weeks and see where we are with that. Here's some photos. The upper left, that's kind of going over Paso Gardena. And then we have Hotel Olympia up here in the upper right is kind of, again, the bar area. This is one of the rooms. This is one of the rooms I think I've stayed in a couple of times. Nice room with, and has this view down in the lower right-hand corner. Views over the village and the mountains. So just really, really beautiful. So kind of our first full day at San Vigilio di Marebe, we will go into Fanacenas Breas Dolomite Nature Park. It's a beautiful, beautiful Dolomite park. There's kind of three distinct areas to it. There's the Breas part, which we will not be going to. That's kind of where the lake is. But then you have the Cenas Plateau and the Fanas Plateau. So we will be transferred. It's probably about, I think it's maybe 8 to 10 miles from kind of the heart of San Vigilio di Marebe to go out to Pettigrew Hut. It kind of sits in this valley, and it's kind of between the two plateaus. So if you go to the left, if you're kind of like at this kind of refugio hut in this valley, if you look to the left, that's the Cenis Plateau. If you look to the right, that's the Fannis Plateau. So we will probably start with the Cenis Plateau. It could flip flop. Either way, hopefully we'll be able to do both of them, as long as the group is up for it and the weather is cooperating. And we will go to the Cenis Plateau, and it's a little bit of a demanding hike when you first get started, and it's not maybe the prettiest, but once you get up a little bit further, it gets really nice. You get close to this place called Fodara Vedla. There's like a little settlement there, and that's where I feel like the scenery kind of starts to turn up a notch. And then we will go all the way up to Sunnis Hut, and that area up there is beautiful. You'll just get 360 views of Dolomite peaks. Again, breakfast will be included, maybe dinner. Like I said, I'm going to be double checking on that, since it sounds like Hotel Olympia might be doing their dinner again. They were kind of thinking about stopping it, and now they're maybe going to be doing it. And of course, you'd be able to get lunch up at the Cenis Hut. It's a great place for lunch. And something to drink as well. So those are the views. This is the Cenis Hut here. So this is kind of what we would be aiming to get up to. I think it's only about three and a half miles to get up, but it is a lot uphill. But then you get these views. So this is kind of on the way up. This is around the Fodara area, just before you get there. And then this is kind of up from just probably around the corner from here. So some of the views, that's the Croda Rosa, which is one of the very distinctive Dolomite peaks. It's very pink, hence the name. So yeah, so that is that. And then this will be our last full day in the mountains. And again, we'll go out to Pettigrew Hut, and this time we'll go up to the Fannis Plateau. Got a great hike where we'll kind of a little bit more gradual in your elevation going up here. So we'll go up to, we'll get to Fannis Hut, which is in this nice, lovely little valley. And then you get up to the Grand Fannis Plateau. And I would say this has become one of my favorite hikes to do. It's a little bit longer. It's probably about 10 miles round trip, so about 5 miles up. But once you get up so far, it kind of levels off, which is kind of nice. And yeah, it's just the views from up here are just stunning. And again, this will probably be breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So I think we must have a lunch included here. I was not aware of that. I'm going to have to double check on that, but definitely breakfast and dinner. This is going to be our final night together and with our hiking guide. And here's some photos. So this is kind of going up. This is a little lake that you kind of hit on the way up. This is kind of looking back. You'd be walking this way towards this down here in the lower right-hand corner. So that's sort of the final destination. It's just beautiful, absolutely stunning, especially on a good day like that. So our last day is the day that we'll be transported back down to the Venice train station, down to Venice Mestre for onward travel for you. We will make our way into the Veneto region, and in the Veneto region, there is the Prosecco wine growing region. So we actually are going to take a stop there. We're going to stop at a little vineyard called Bianca Vigna, and we'll get a tour and a tasting and a light lunch. And our hotel yet is TBD. I don't know. I need to double check and make, excuse me. I need to see if that is going to be included. The hotel, I'm not sure, that might be an extra cost, because we understand that some people may want to stay and maybe go to Venice for a couple nights, which I'm happy to help anybody that might want to do that too. I could kind of help you plan those couple of extra days if you want to do that. So those are some of the little details that once we kind of get a little closer, we'll start to iron out. So here are some of the things that are included. So all your accommodation for those 9 nights, outside of maybe that last night, or 10 nights, excuse me, is included. You have breakfast every day, 7 dinners, possibly more than that. There may be 2 more dinners added um, in San Vigilio di Morevi at Hotel Olympia. I'm going to double check that. You've got lunches, you got all your transportations. We will have a professional speaking hiking guide from days 2 through 9. We have a couple of wine tasting, all your luggage into your rooms. You don't have to worry about that, and all the assistance. So obviously, some of the things that aren't included are your airfare, the gratuity for the guide, travel insurance, meals that are not kind of listed there, beverages with included meals, um, some other tips and gratuities, and anything that's not listed. Oh, excuse me. I'm dry all of a sudden. Um, so here's what I say, who these trips are for and who they're not. And this is kind of just generally speaking about the Wonder Your Way adventures. They're definitely for people who are more active. I kind of say they're for people who are curious, who kind of want unique, curated small group tours, something that's not kind of the normal tour. You definitely need to be able to walk on uneven surfaces for 4+ miles. We won't necessarily be doing that daily, but obviously we are going to be getting out and doing some hiking. So it's not for people who are really into the cities, maybe aren't up to or capable of walking several miles a day, or that want a run-of-the-mill tour. So there is a full kind of booking terms and conditions. I always tell people to read all of that thoroughly before booking, and you will be sent a waiver of release once you do make your booking. There is a non-refundable deposit of $750 per person due at the time, and then final payment is due approximately 60 days, excuse me, prior to the start date. Let me take another drink. And that final date is coming up. So the final day, because I'm pushing the day that I want to have people signed up, is April 10th. So that's the final date to sign up for the Marvels of the Dolomites. This is all the cancellation stuff. The deposit is non-refundable, and the trip balance may be refunded only if the trip is sold. Refunded full only if the trip is sold out and a new and previously unregistered participant books your canceled spot. So if you have to cancel, the only way, like after you've paid for everything, the only way that you would be able to get your money back is if you can get somebody to sign up. Cancellations on or after the final due date, no money refunded. If we cancel, full refund will be listed, but hopefully the cancellation would come in before you would be making final payments, but we will kind of see. This trip is not fully 100% going to go yet. I will be honest, we have 2 people signed up. We need to have a minimum of 5. So I'm hoping to get a few more people because you can see how spectacular and how beautiful it is. So we've got a couple of weeks yet to get a few more people signed up. So that's all the cancellation booking policies there. And I'm just going to open it up to questions. If either of you, I think we just got a couple of you in here now. If you have any questions for me, please. I know you kind of came in late and you might have missed the first part of the itinerary, but the itinerary can all be found too at, well, let me go and share that really quick. I will pop over, let me escape here and go here. So this is what the web page looks like if you go over to wonderyourwayadventures.com, and you can go click on the tours, and this has basically all the information that I kind of put out on the slides all through here, and you can kind of see there's even a map, lots of photos, and this is how you would book it. Right through there is proceed to booking. So let me stop my share again. Oops. Okay. Okay. All right, no problem. Okay. Do you have any questions, Hargesh? If not, I'm going to go ahead and end things, but if you have a question, I'm happy to answer it. You can put it in the chat if you're not able to unmute yourself. Okay. No questions? Yes, it is recorded and I plan on sending it out on Monday morning. So probably mostly what you missed, if you go back, if you go to One of Your Way Adventures and go to the tour, the Marvels of the Dolomites tour, you'll be able to see a lot of it there, but it's been recorded. We're recording right now, so I will go you can go back and you can see what you missed. No problem. No problem. Thanks for being here. Um, and I'm just going to go ahead and end it there. And if anybody else out there has any questions after you've kind of watched this, please email me, Lynn, Lynne, at oneyourway.com. And I'm happy to answer any questions. I'm even happy to jump on a phone call or a Zoom call. If you have any questions and you want to kind of just would rather do that via email, I'm always open to having a conversation if you're interested. But I would love to have you join me on this trip. It's going to be amazing. Obviously, if you kind of looked at some of the photos, it's such a beautiful place. It's a great time to be there. I know, again, I think people sometimes shy away from thinking about summer, especially people that maybe can travel at other times of year, but I promise it's still a nice time of year to be there without it being too crowded. July and August tend to be the busier months because I've been there in like June as it turned into July, and it was always interesting to me that as soon as it turned into July, I was like, oh, there's more people. So whereas in late June, I still kind of felt like, oh, there's there's a nice amount of people, but it didn't feel as bad. It seemed like as soon as you turned the calendar over to July, it definitely got busier. So June's a really nice time to be in the mountains for sure. So thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thanks for tuning in, watching the recording. And again, you can hit me up with any questions, Lynn, Lynne, at oneyourway.com. Thanks. Bye.